r/AskReddit. Parents of bullies, when did you realize your child was a bully, and how did you react? You should know that one of the major forming factors for bullies can be parents paying no attention at all, so the replies you get may be limited by that. I completely agree. It's not a valid excuse, but it is a reason. Every bully I've met had troubles at home. It wasn't always parents not paying attention. Sometimes it was toxic parents paying too much attention, so they got criticized to the extent they took it out at school. Bullying is often more of a dysfunctional attempt at socializing than it is real sadism or manipulation. It depends on which bullying problems you're looking at, of course. But lots of it, like harassment, teasing, targeting peers that are perceived as weaker, is actually an attempt to force camaraderie with others by creating an us versus them environment. It's why as a teacher we continually remind each other that it's the toughest kids to love that need it the most. This is especially true for bullies. It becomes hard because I have to take care of the bullies. Restorative justice really helps, and their victims, but sometimes we can jumpstart what otherwise people have suggested. Try to avoid having the bully lose a fight, still feel some level of control, and become part of the group. My son was a bully. First grade I started getting noticed from his teacher that he was throwing sand at girls and stabbing people with a pencil. I talked to him, and he had crazy first grade reasons, like she was being mean first. I told him it's not cool and to knock it off. Every teacher meeting I would tell them to let me know, and I'll punish him. Second grade. I meet the teacher. I warn her that I think he's a bully and to watch him. Same shit starts happening. But now he's being mean to specific people. Anyone that can't run fast, etc. I'm thinking to myself, I can't watch him all the time. What do I do? At home I start punish him, but it doesn't really do anything. All teacher conferences main agenda is bullying. Third grade. I meet the teacher and warn her we have a bully on our hands. Same crap happens. I'm reading a book on the subject and I read a passage that says, if you call a kid a bully he lives up to the role. Let the experiment begin. From that day I stopped calling him a bully and started saying things like, you're going to help your teacher today, right? You are a good boy. Make me proud by being a helper. Almost night and day. The calls stopped. The next teacher conference, the teacher said how helpful he was. He's in 8th grade now. No bully calls. I make him do volunteer work weekly just in case. He still does crazy crap like attacking kids that are mean to girls, but no bullying. I don't know if I caught it in time or if my kid just needed coaching, but it worked. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy and happens a lot with kids. You believe that he's a bully and people tell him he is, and soon he believes it and feels like he can't change. Happens with adults too. Especially if the person who is negatively defining / stereotyping you is someone you look up to. Recently, because I'm working from home and so get to hear, albeit distractedly, the discourse between my two youngest sons. My ears perked when I heard the oldest one's voice drop and the other react with a sudden wail. Then the older one, cool as a cucumber, affected as hell, say, hey. Are you okay, little buddy? While the other one continued to cry. I strode into the little one's bedroom in time to see the older one towering over the younger one staring at him menacingly. But he saw me from the corner of his eye and continued with the fake tone. Mom, something's wrong with that chair. He was sitting in it and it just like flipped over. I just could not believe how he could believe that I would buy that. And his tone was just fake. It gave me chills. I had never seen that side of him before. He's 13 by the way. What's scary is that he probably believes you buy it because you have bought it before. Bingo. I was a bully in middle school and I can tell you that you won't get many good answers. People like me get that way because nobody is paying any attention. If nobody makes you feel good, you do it yourself. And children aren't mature enough to do that properly. So they try to steal happiness from others. They'll put you down to feel good. That's why bullies break down. If you beat them just once, their hand has slipped from the last string of control they had. It's not pleasant for anyone, and the longer it goes on, the more irreparable the damage becomes. TLDR, pay attention to your kids, and show them the way of kindness by example. Edit, I've seen a lot of people talking about bullying as a result of being bullied and various other things. Just wanted to say that, even though I came off this way, I didn't mean to generalize all bullying. This is my experience and I tell it, because it hurts me to see people end up like me, and I refuse to run away from my past. I totally understand that there's multiple types of bullies, and I've actually learned a lot about the cycles of violence that aggressive bullying can form from this thread. Definitely don't mean to put down anyone's experiences. Cheers. From someone who was a victim of a lot of bullying, thanks for writing this. It's not something I didn't already know, but interesting to hear it from that perspective. Hope you're doing alright. All I know is that my wife is a teacher, and when she tells parents about their kid being mean, or a bully, or anything bad, they just say shit like, "He doesn't do that at home. He's a good boy. You must be lying," or "The other kids are lying. The parents at her school are affluent and can do no wrong." Parents, please listen to your children's teachers. They always act good at home. Even the worst ones do that. That is actually an interesting response to me. I'm a teacher and my students listen to me. But my own children are absolute worldlings and freak out and destroy everything. Thing is, other adults sing their praises. Could it be that bullies are the opposite? That they listen to their parents and play nice, but not to other adults? Just a thought. I'd love to hear other people's opinions. I was that kid. I was an angel at school and a terror at home. The way I've heard it described is that kids feel that it's safe to fall apart at home. They know that their parents love them, no matter how they act, so after holding it together all day and being good, they get home and let their emotions flow more freely. To me, that makes a lot of sense. Several answers here are along the lines of, one of the things that makes a bully is lack of attention. My parents love me more than life itself, and yet I was still a bully in my elementary years. I couldn't tell you why exactly, other than just saying autism, which is no excuse. My parents did not allow the teachers to use that as an excuse, and made sure I was appropriately punished. And I'm so grateful for that. Anyway, most autistic children have the one thing they obsess over. For me, it was Garfield the cat. Every phone call from the principal, one Garfield thing was taken away, and it broke my parents' hearts, but it worked. I have a disorder on the autism spectrum called Asperger's. I too have something I obsess over, which is coins. Mine was rocks. When my parents took me to restaurants, I'd spend the last 20 to 30 minutes looking through the rock beds for good ones. Probably collected 1,000 by the time I got to high school. In my entire life, there was only one good rock that I saw but didn't get. I was in basic training, and I knew that if one of my drill sergeants saw me bend down to pick up a rock, then it would be the end of me. I knew in that moment I'd never forget that rock. I haven't forgotten it yet anyway. What did it look like? Thank you for asking. It was flat on two sides, roughly triangular on the remaining three, with the longest side bent slightly inward. The edges were smooth. The thing that really made it special was the way it seemed to take in light. It didn't reflect quite as much as it should, like it was just a bit offset from everything around us. My nephew's a bully. I saw it coming though. My sister's non-existent in his life. He and my brother-in-law are separated from my sister. Honestly, she's a piece of work. Most of the family has turned their backs on her because she compulsively lies and treats everyone like they're not good enough. She slapped me in the face during Thanksgiving because I stepped out to speak to my then girlfriend who was in a PICE facility after threatening to kill herself. She said I was being selfish and needed to spend time with the family, not on my phone. Naturally my nephew picked up on this behavior, while she still at least tried to act like a mother. Recently found out he punched a kid in the face and broke his nose. It's awful to hear about because the whole family is super supportive of my brother-in-law, and we know my nephew has some developmental issues because he was born about 2 months early and had to be incubated. Anyways, he's 6 or 7 now and starting to show these pretty serious signs. Anger. I haven't been in the area. I moved almost a state away for work though and haven't been able to be part of my nephew's life in a while, which is a bummer. I just hope my brother-in-law is managing. Therapy can help a lot at that age. Pretty serious stuff there, but a lot of kids are testing out shitty behavior at that age. Spend time with him too. Family attention and some counseling can help a lot. A bunch of friends and myself were sitting around one day talking about school, and we got to the subject of being bullied. As I sat there listening, I realized that I didn't have a story to tell. This is when I also realized I was a bully. Honestly, most bullied person I know also bullied weaker people at some point. For me, the bottom line of bullying is simply, show them you bite back. Once it's learned for good. Once in 4th grade a kid was roasting me on the playground and I didn't really care until he called my mom a troll. Then I just unleashed a barrage on him. LMAO. Luckily that was the only time I lashed out at someone like that. Not a bully, but I know I got one of my old bullies hard when, on suggestion from one of my cousins, to invite said bullies to my birthday party. 7 total, only 1 showed, and proceeded to introduce the kid as the shithead who beats me up every day, even called him that in front of his mom. I know at some point the kid's mom had a discussion with my mom. I'll ask if she remembers how it went, and after about 20 minutes they up and left. Never had a issue with him afterwards. Update, talked to mom. She doesn't remember the exact words that were used, but the conversation was basically bully's mom saying I was being rude to my guest and was using foul language I shouldn't use. To which my mom proceeded to tell her all the crap this kid and his little circle of goons did to me. My mom was actually going to pull me aside and show the lady the bruises I had on me from him and the other bullies when she decided to leave. I thought this post was going in a way different direction when you started with, I got one of my old bullies hard. My sister was a bully. She bullied me and my brother, and also kids in school. My parents ignored it. I think they were a little afraid of her. Your parents afraid of your sister? What the duck, was she some sort of underage Navy SEAL or something? Kids with behavior issues can get incredibly aggressive and violent at unexpected times. Exactly like one of my sisters. She's unassuming and petite, dresses very well, and is extremely polite in public. However, if you are alone with her and can't really get away or have some sort of family connection, she's absolutely vile and spiteful. She has no shame and will do anything to intimidate, belittle, or badger you to do or say what she wants you to, and has gotten violent multiple times with every member of our family, all with family as witnesses, all largely unprovoked. The number one crime you can commit in her mind is defend yourself at all, and her favorite thing in the world is to watch you get upset by something she says. She's the worst kind of person, and she intentionally designed her style and demeanor to hide how aggressive and confrontational she is. She basically runs my mom's life, ruined my relationship with my mom for years, and scared my sister from even trying to be in our house when we were kids. Me and my sister are nothing like her at all, and neither of my parents or relatives are like her either. She just was born without a link to human empathy. My daughter. I figured it out after I took her phone and read her online post and some of the communications on her phone. Ever seen the movie Mean Girls? My kid put all of the characters to shame with her vindictive cattiness. Had she not been my kid, I would have sent her down the road to as highly toxic. None of my other kids act in that manner, and all of us have open communications. We are not the religious zealot types, and are very open to all people, included sex and sexuality. When watching the videos she made on her phone, I saw that she would draw dicks on her sister when the sister was sleeping. She get girls to fight with their boyfriends. She would intentional do shit to try to break the wife and I up. She paid another underage girl to coerce me into having sex and then physically kicked the girl's ass because I didn't go for it. She recorded herself causing bruises on herself so she could say a parent was beating her up. She intentional start fights and create drama within her own peers groups. She lost all the friends she had in middle school because of her antics. I took her phone away, cut the internet, and had the police issue trespass notices to all of her friends to prevent them from coming to the house. I also removed the door to her room to prevent the sexual escapades. I'm not 100% convinced it was all consensual. Everything has been reported to proper authorities. In return, she threatened suicide and secretly called the cops. We took her to the hospital for the suicide threat. They placed her in a 72-hour confinement for mental health. She used the hospital phone to call a friend and have a friend in California make allegations to the police. It was a full-on drama meltdown. The daughter is still a bully and toxic. There's not much we can do. We can't get her to go to counseling on a committed basis and she not willing to change herself. She might have a mental illness. I'm not qualified to say. We can only mitigate and try to limit what damage and drama she can do. We shield the other kids away from her and try to be as happy as we can. As far as parental relationship, there isn't one. We have a regressive drama queen that we legal responsible for and kind of pander. Edit. Yes, everybody involved went to counseling. The kid in question doesn't participate. Won't talk, won't interact, and leaves when she has the opportunity. If you think you can make a kid participate through parental direction or spankings, you're in for a rude awakening with your own children. My goal is not to alienate a child, it is to minimize the harmful.